Let's start with a truth that most victims of narcissistic abuse never realize until it's almost too late. You cannot defeat a narcissist by screaming louder than them. You cannot win by proving they are wrong. They don't care about truth, they care about dominance. The true defeat of a narcissist happens in the shadows. It happens in the quiet corners of your mind when you stop playing their game. If you have noticed a narcissist in your life becoming suddenly desperate, paranoid, or aggressive without a clear trigger, it's because they sense their kingdom is crumbling. Today, we are going into a 60-minute masterclass. We aren't just scratching the surface, we are going deep into the 5 psychological signals that you are, perhaps even unintentionally, dismantling their ego from the inside out. We will explore why silence is louder than words, why your success is their poison, and how to become the version of yourself that they fear most. If you are ready to reclaim your reality, let's begin. Signal 1: the data blackout. The narcissist as a system. To understand why emotional detachment works, you have to view the narcissist not as a person, but as a biological algorithm. They are constantly pinging you for data. Every time they insult you, they are checking for a reaction. Every time they love bomb you, they are measuring your pulse. The feeding mechanism. They need your supply. Narcissistic supply isn't just praise, it's any emotional movement. If you cry, they feel powerful because they caused those tears. If you scream, they feel relevant because they controlled your heart rate. The transition to gray rock. When you enter the state of emotional detachment, you initiate a data blackout. The physical level. You maintain a steady voice. You stop the micro expressions of fear or disgust. The mental level. You realize their words are not reflections of your character, but projections of their pathology. Why it destroys them. Imagine a vampire trying to bite a stone. There is no blood. There is no life. There is no fuel. When you stop reacting, the narcissist begins to starve. They will escalate. They will try harder to hurt you just to see if you are still in there. If you remain detached during this escalation, their ego experiences a system error. They realize that the remote control they use to move your emotions is broken. This is the beginning of their internal panic. Signal 2: the firewall. The illusion of the open door. Narcissists believe they own the people in their lives. To them, a boundary is a personal insult. They have spent years training you to believe that your needs are selfish and their whims are emergencies. Defining the non-negotiable. In this phase of the collapse, you stop asking for permission. You don't say, "Could you please stop calling me at work?" Instead, you say, "I do not take personal calls at work. If you call, I will hang up." And then, this is the key, you actually hang up. The extinction burst. When you set a firm boundary, the narcissist will go through what psychologists call an extinction burst. They will throw a massive tantrum, much like a child at a vending machine that won't give them the candy. They will use guilt. "After all I've done for you?" Shame. "You've become so cold and heartless." Threats. "You'll regret treating me this way." The result. By holding the line, you are showing them that their magic words no longer work. You are asserting that you are a separate entity. This destroys the narcissist's core delusion, that you are merely an extension of them. When they can't cross your line, they feel small. And a small narcissist is a terrified narcissist. Signal 3: strategic long-term clarity. Short-term chaos versus long-term vision. Narcissists live in the now. They want you trapped in the drama of today. Why didn't you text back? Why did you look at that person? They keep you in a state of hypervigilance, so you never look at the big picture. The awakening. The third signal of their destruction is when you start looking at the timeline. You stop seeing a bad day and start seeing a bad decade. You begin to document the patterns. You see that the "I'm sorry" in February is exactly the same as the "I'm sorry" in August, with no change in between. Logical deconstruction. You start asking strategic questions. What is the ROI, return on investment, of this relationship? If I stay here for 5 more years, who will I become? Is this person capable of empathy, or am I talking to a script? The weapon of logic. When you speak from a place of long-term logic, the narcissist has no defense. They operate on impulse and emotion. When you say, based on your behavior over the last 6 months, it is clear that respect is not a priority here. They can't argue with the data. They feel the shift. They realize you are no longer a victim. You are an observer. An observer is someone they cannot control. Signal 4. The indifference of the audience. The hologram needs a projector. The narcissist's ego is a performance. They are the star, the director, and the hero of their own story. But a play cannot exist without an audience. Withdrawing the gaze previously, you were impressed by them. You are dazzled by their charm, or perhaps you were intimidated by their status. Now you look at them and see nothing. Just a middle-aged child playing a game. The lethality of indifference. Many people think hate is the opposite of love. It isn't. Hate is still an intense emotion. Hate still means they matter to you. The opposite of love is indifference. When they brag about a promotion, you say, okay. When they tell a story to make you jealous, you say, that's nice. When they try to show off, you check your watch. The ego fracture. Without your eyes shining back at them, their grandiosity has nowhere to land. They feel invisible. To a narcissist, being invisible is worse than being dead. This is the moment they often start hoovering, trying to suck you back in, because they are desperate to see a spark of any emotion in your eyes again. Don't give it to them. Signal 5. The ultimate rise. The myth of the essential narcissist. The narcissist's biggest lie is, you are nothing without me. They want you to believe that they are the air in your lungs and the money in your pocket. The evidence of success. The fifth and final signal that destroys them is your unapologetic happiness. You look better. Your skin clears up. You start making more money. You find genuine friends. You laugh. Real deep laughter. The humiliation of the detour. When they see you thriving, it proves to the world and to them that they were the handbrake on your life, not the engine. Your success is the living proof of their failure. They realize that they didn't make you. They were actually holding you back. The final collapse. This is where the narcissistic injury becomes permanent. They have to watch from the sidelines as you build a kingdom they aren't invited to. They realize they have lost access to the most valuable thing they ever had, a person with a soul. We have spent this hour talking about how to destroy a narcissist's ego, but I want to end with a shift in perspective. The goal isn't actually to destroy them. The goal is to build you. The narcissist's ego collapses as a side effect of your healing. You don't have to throw a single punch. You don't have to say a single mean word. You just have to wake up, realize your worth, and walk away into the light of your own potential. The silence you leave behind is the only language they will ever truly understand. It is the sound of their power leaving the room. You are free. You are whole. And you were always stronger than the ghost they tried to make you believe in. Next step. If this hour has opened your eyes, I want you to do one thing. Audit your reactions. For the next 24 hours, give them nothing but politeness and silence. Watch what happens. And if you're ready to dive even deeper into the mechanics of the mind, subscribe and join our community of survivors turned thrivers.